Hi, I'm Blair Marnell, TV channel editor for CraveOnline, and we're here at the CraveOnline Studio with Ian Anthony Dale to talk Mortal Kombat Legacy Season 2.
When do we begin?
Now.
Did you have a martial arts background before you did Mortal Kombat Legacy?
Yeah, I actually, I've trained Kung Fu for about 3 years, and I also spent about 6 months learning Japanese sword fighting, Shinkendo. You know, for the longest time when I first moved to Los Angeles, I was reluctant to try to put my focus all onto martial arts because my intention was to try to get roles that were outside of the stereotypes. And so for the longest time, I didn't take martial arts. I didn't train, but you know, I hit a point where I realized that there were a lot of great opportunities out there that weren't necessarily stereotypical that involved martial arts, and I thought I better learn a thing or two just so I'm not caught off guard.
Now, which fighting discipline did you learn?
Bruce Lee style Kung Fu, basically street fighting.
Wrong franchise, damn it. Now, you were also in the first season of Mortal Kombat Legacy as Scorpion, set in the distant past back in those episodes, right?
Yes.
Now, in Season 2, will Scorpion be in the present, or is it still in the past?
We get to see both worlds. We get to see a little bit more of the backstory between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and we actually, you know, challenge the assumption that they've always been sworn enemies. What's really cool is that in Season 1, we got to see a more human side of Scorpion. We got to see him as a family man, as a father, as a husband, and we got to see, you know, certain vulnerabilities of a character that, you know, has always been very stoic. I really enjoyed being able to explore that aspect of the character because it really sets up what happens in Season 2. You know, at the end of Season 1, we see Hanzo's wife and child murdered. In Season 2, we get to see the repercussions of that loss. If Season 1 was all about humanizing Scorpion, Season 2 is all about demonizing him. So we'll flash back to get a better understanding of the relationship between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and then we'll come to the present day, the tournament, and we see the two square off in a pretty fantastic rivalry and an even more spectacular finish to there. Yeah.
Now, did you get to say Scorpion's signature line this year?
I did. You know, I got to say it in Season 1, however, it was in Japanese, so I think it had less of an impact as people might have liked it to. This season I say it in English, and I say it with a lot of gusto and ferocity. I don't know if I could ever live up to Ed Boon's rendition of it, but I do my best, and I think it sounds okay.
It's also, no one can ever live up to Ed Boon's Toasty!
No, although Kevin Tancheron does a pretty good one, so if you ever get a chance, you should ask him to do it.
How long was the shoot this time around?
We shot for about 14, 15 days back in 2012.
It's been that long?
It's been a long time. You know, one of the differences from Season 1 to Season 2 was that in Season 1, we would release one episode a week for 10 weeks, and we had the luxury of time to be editing, you know, the episodes that hadn't been released yet. This time we're going to be unleashing all 10 episodes available on September 26th. So we had to spend more time in the editing process, and the special effects are amped up this season. And so I guess they wanted to take their time and make sure it looked the best it could look. Last season we were running and gunning a lot. You know, it was a learning experience. This season, we had extensive fight rehearsals where we mapped out the choreography, we mapped out shot by shot how we wanted to cover it on the day, and we were able to accomplish a lot more. And I think the fight scenes really benefited from that preparation.
Now, we've seen the trailer at this point, and it looks like Kevin brought a more cinematic flair to some of the scenery this year.
You know, it's more and more epic. We found some really fantastic locations to create the Mortal Kombat tournament world. The special effects people did a fantastic job in enhancing, you know, the locations that we were able to find, and you do feel like you're kind of transported to this fantasy land where these epic rivalries happen.
Does Scorpion get to fight any other characters besides Sub-Zero this year?
Yes. He gets to fight another member of the Kuai Lang. It's actually Sub-Zero's little brother. So you'll have to tune in to see what happens. I think the fans can imagine what the result will be.
Yeah, toasty.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, any other experiences you want to share from this year or the most recent Mortal Kombat Legacy season?
I got a chance to work with a lot of my good friends. Kevin was kind enough to involve me in the casting process for season 2, and we ended up, casting some really talented actors. And Brian T., who plays Liu Kang, Mark Dacascos plays Kung Lao, Casper Van Dien plays Johnny Cage. And I think Casper was born to play this character. He's just got this engaging humor and kind of silliness to him that perfectly aligns itself with the Johnny Cage character. We made this series for the fans, and the fact that it's online lends itself to constant interaction, engagement, sharing, which really makes the fans, part of the evolution and the success of the series. And so we tried to make something bigger, better, more exciting. The fights are bigger, they hit harder, the special effects have improved significantly. And we've listened to their feedback. They said they wanted more fatalities. Well, we're giving them a lot more fatalities. And so, if we can have half the success with season 2 as we had with season 1, I think, we will be happy. But, obviously our expectations are for it to do really well.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Hey, thanks for having me.